Good morning or good evening on your side. I'd like to welcome everybody to Akhila Shiva's poet interview for our next volume of The Short of It. It is called Reflections and Revelations, and I'm really excited about its publication. We're hoping that it's going to come out April or sooner. I'm hoping sooner rather than later, but I'm not sure yet. It just depends on how much I can get done in this time period between now and then. I would like to introduce, I'd like to read her bio because I went through the interview that we did 2 years ago, and it's just as fascinating as the last one. So I would like to introduce her by what she wrote in her bio. Akhila Shiva is a plant woman breathing poetry, a self-motivated lifelong learner decoding signs from the universe, and a blogger bleeding out the intoxicated imperfections of her soul through her words. Her works have been featured in several online publications and anthologies. She is the founder and sole contributor of Words and Notions, and Quality Notion. She was originally featured here in The Short of It in 2020. Also selected and published in The Sound of Brilliance, which was our first volume in 2021. And I have also showcased other pieces of her work on I Write Her, because I do reblog people at least once a week. I find some really fascinating pieces that I want to share with my audience too. So this is Akhila. Welcome. How are you? How have you been since the last 2 years since we last spoke?
Yeah, good morning to you. And actually, I'm so super thrilled to have a second chance to talk to you.
Oh, awesome.
This is really, yeah, this is really amazing because and the first time also I got a chance to get published in your Sound of Brilliance, and second time also you're inviting me for this chat. You already published my poems in your I Write Her.
Yeah.
And so really it's really you are really an inspirational person, motivational
Oh,
person.
well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. But honestly, the reason I do it, and I've said this since even the very first volume, the reason the features is just because I find that the work that you guys put out there is just so inspirational. I love it and I enjoy reading it, and I just want to share it with everybody else. So I'm glad that it helps you. I'm glad that you're inspired to continue, because obviously you continue to bring good work to the table. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, I wanted to also, like I said, that very first bio that I got from the first interview, there was a couple of things that you said that I absolutely loved. Flying across the space between words and whipping up whimsical waves of notion to discern the quantum code of the soul. Oh, you have written that so cute. I love it. It's just eloquent, and it makes you think of a whole bunch of things. So I love that description of yourself. Just, that's so cute. I love it. I wanted to share that with you. But you also, I'm trying to remember the last interview that we had, we talked a lot about your being immersed in exploring astronomy and space travel. Did you actually have a chance to research Professor Brian Cox? Remember we talked about him? Did you have
Yeah, we talked. Yeah, actually at that time I was doing a little bit of research and explorations on that, and also I read his articles and many of such things. And then actually further, I'm working upon something called quantum mechanics. It's a physics itself. So
right?
that is my current work that I am doing right now.
Nice. That
Yeah.
that takes some brains. That's awesome.
Actually, during my studies and all physics, I was never fascinated towards physics, to be
Really?
frank. Yeah, I really didn't like that subject of physics, not at all. But after my graduation, I worked as an electromagnetic. I worked in electromagnetic field theory as a lecturer. So that time had a little spark, not fully, had a little spark. And then I joined my corporate world. So you know what happens in a corporate world. Once you are into that, it's a black hole. You are completely immersed into that.
Yeah.
So there is no escapism unless you deliberately plan to do.
Yeah.
So
That's
at that
absolutely.
point, yeah, at that point, I took that decision to come out of this corporate world. So now I am again behind my passion, writing, this quantum mechanics. So that point, actually, I further study upon this quantum mechanics and all. So again, this electromagnetic field things came into my mind.
Good.
So
Well, I'm just
yeah.
curious because now you're back into quantum mechanics, or studying a field that you're really enthusiastic about. Can you, for the people like me who are lay people about this, who don't really understand or grasp something as minute as quantum mechanics, or what the process is about them, can you give us like the stupid person's version of what like quantum mechanics for dummies? Can you explain that to us?
Actually, I am also like that. I'm not on an expert. I'm also learning. Just
Okay.
out of my curiosity, I'm starting from zero. Just from zero, I'm starting. And actually, to be frank, quantum mechanics, even the scientists itself tell, if you say like you are understanding it, you are not at all understanding it, because it is such
Oh,
a field. You cannot grasp it fully. It's still emerging. There are many things to be yet to be discovered. We are not. I mean, the scientists are not yet converged on many such aspects. So, in simple way, we can tell like it's about the microscopic world. Okay. It's like in the last interview, I told you about the macroscopic world, about the
hmm,
astronomy and things like that.
right.
And yeah, actually, further exploring, I understood like it's all connected. There is no such things like macro, micro. It's all come from this. Ultimately, it's all related. It's all
Yeah.
connected. So that's how I landed on this quantum mechanics things. So, okay, you can, if you think about the atoms are the fundamental particles of
Hmm.
any element in the universe. So, if
Right.
you think about atoms, inside the atoms, we have got many electrons, protons, neutrons, etc.
Nucleus,
And it
all
can
that.
be further divided. These electrons that can be further divided, like quarks. So, quarks are said to be they are said to be the fundamental particles right now, can be called as the fundamental particles right now. And again, this quarks itself is not a particle. You cannot call it as a particle. It's like a field or a wave or something like that, or a superposition of everything,
Right.
particle and wave. Yeah. So the entire universe, you can call it as a vibration of energy. There is nothing like particles. It's all a vibe. Even you, me, everything is a
Hmm.
vibration of energy. There is the ultimately it takes a form. It takes a physical form. That's it.
Right.
So
Well, that's
yeah.
like a lot of times when you are in, and I know I experienced that. I don't want to get all pseudoscience in expression right now, but I know that when I walk into a room with lots of people, I feel like there's so much energy coming towards me. I feel a little overwhelmed but I know part of that is just the activities, the noise, the conversations. You got 50 million different conversations going on, or 15 different ones or whatever. So it's a little overwhelming to me, but to me it feels like it's accosting my body, and it's overwhelming. So I attribute that to a sort of energy in the room kind of thing. And it can be draining or it could be exhilarating. It just depends on the mood in the room. You kind of look around and get a feel for what is it, exciting, or is it just something that's going to sap my energy? But yeah, I find that interesting and fascinating too. It's like I'm trying to think of, I hate to say but I'm at a loss for words and I can't think of how I wanted to express this. But yeah, when you said that we're all interconnected, it's almost like we we live in a bubble almost. We're within our own bubble. Everything is within its own bubble, but each bubble cannot be thoroughly defined because you can always go deeper. But if you think about it, we're all swimming together in the same bubble. So yeah, we have to be connected.
Yeah, yeah. Ultimately, everything gets connected in some way or other.
Yeah.
After all, everything, after all, it is supposed to be the Big Bang created the entire universe. So everything
Mm-hmm.
started from a singularity.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, it is connected. Everything should be connected because
Right. And
that's how it
sometimes
started.
more connected. And that this is the funny part when you said that just now about the singularity. This is how I kind of explain some of the people in my life that were just like instant connections. I feel like we were at that singularity tight next to each other. And then the singularity happened, and then we came back together again. We kind of found each other. That's the only way I can explain those types of relationships that seem to be almost instantaneous recognition is what it feels like. We know each other, we feel totally united and totally connected. And I love that because those types of friendships are very unique and very fulfilling too. But that's
Yeah.
physically, that's the only way I can explain. How does that happen? How do we emotionally connect so quickly? Unless we were living side by side in the same singularity. That's the only way I look at it.
Yeah. Actually, even in quantum mechanics, there are a few aspects like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one of them is quantum entanglement. And you are now talking about that entanglement, that quantum entanglement, how people get connected.
Mm-hmm.
They may be strangers, they may not be knowing each other, but still when they're together, they feel a vibe. Like they
Mm-hmm.
know as if they were familiar long years back.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that is kind of quantum entanglement.
Oh, I have to tell Candy that one. That's what we'll call it now. It's not just something flipping out of our head. We're
Hello.
quantumly entangled. One of the things we just got cut off for our viewers, so we had a technical difficulty, so we're restarting this interview. I wanted to get back to what we were talking about, quantum mechanics, but I think we've kind of got a definition now of what that is, at least as a layman's terms type of definition. One of the things I wanted to get back to was you had mentioned at the last interview too that poetry is like mental therapy for you. Being a lifelong learner, I want you to explain that part of it a little bit more, because I feel like most of us poets feel the same way as you do. It just helps us navigate life a lot better. So from your perspective, please talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, currently, as I already told you, I'm learning more about this microscopic worlds. It's like I'm getting deeper and deeper into I'm getting deeper and deeper into these atoms, the subatomic particles, and it's attracting me a lot. I'm taking some courses. I'm buying some books and reading online and all. It's like the more I read, the more confused I get.
Yeah.
I'm not able to. Yeah, that is the point. Uh, as I already told, like I was never a physics person while studies and all. I always
Right.
like maths and statistics, but I was not much interested in physics. Okay, grabbed not good marks, but uh, not my interest was not there in the physics and all. But at a point when I started to learn about this microscopic world, I got really fascinated, and now further reading and reading, I thought like, why shouldn't I write a I don't know whether I can call it as a book or not. Why shouldn't I write upon the same? It's not a blog, so I started writing, and now it's taking the shape of a book. Can say like
Wonderful.
taking the shape of a book. Yeah,
So
and
how far
the
have you
thing is,
gotten in that process? Are you ready to publish or?
not yet published.
Okay.
As I already told, the more I read, the more I write, I'm getting totally confused. So, so I need some really expert review on the same. because I'm not a scientist. My background is engineering and the IT. I'm an IT professional, so that is my background. So I really need a technical expert to review what I have learned, what I have written.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, maybe I can go for a publishing. Actually, actually my point was like, whenever we study in our school days and all, we learn the gravity as the apple falling upon Newton's head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Remember? You remember? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That is our the first physics knowledge. I mean, we call it as a first physics knowledge. Apple falling upon Newton's head. So that is my point is like that is not gravity. That is not how children should be taught. The gravity is not at all like a heavy matter pulling a smaller body. It's
Well,
the gravity is actually the curve.
it's
Yeah.
magnetic or just being attracted, right? I mean, isn't that gravity is more an attraction of one object to another, a pulling together? It's not falling. It's just it's a connection, I guess, is the way I've kind of looked at it.
Actually, gravity is little more deeper. It's the Einstein which revealed the main part of that. It's like
Okay.
it's about the curvature of space time or the universe. There is whenever there is a heavy body, there happens a curvature. So that creates this heavy matter falling. That creates the illusion of heavy matter is falling down. It's not actually falling down. So from that point onwards, our studies on physics need to be changed. It's not like apple falling upon Newton's side. It's not gravity. So that was my initial thought. So I thought like maybe I can write little by little and enhance the book. So I started from that point, and finally I reached the quantum mechanics point. So the book is mainly on Einstein mass energy equation.
Nice.
Some Einstein mass energy equivalence equation. So the book is mainly focusing on Einstein's mass energy equivalence equation. So it does almost, I have almost converged. I can only say that I can almost converge. So I need further 2-3 rounds of review on the same. Thereafter, maybe I can go for a publishing.
Oh, I look forward to that. I'm guessing that it will be a very fascinating immersion into that world. So I look forward to that. And if you need any help with, are you going to be self-publishing or are you going to hand that off to a publisher?
I need a traditional publisher. I'm looking for a traditional publisher, but as that before that, I need to ensure I need to get it technically reviewed.
Okay, cool. Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. I'm happy for you that you've decided to pursue that. That's going to be interesting when it comes out. So cool. Excellent. I was going to say we've got a little bit of cutoff time coming up. So please tell us which poem you're going to be reading for us, the one that was selected for the second volume.
Yeah. I'll read the second one, the poem titled Woman.
Okay.
Okay. She's like a hurricane. Never try to tame her waves. You will be blown away. But reach for her eyes. She'll smile like a confetti and let you dance in the core.
Oh, I love the ending of that. That last line is perfection. Because if you look at emotional connections, it's like you always feel like it's at the absolute base of your being is when you have a connection, a deep connection to somebody. And if you can reach that, that's a beautiful connection. That's a beautiful relationship. So I do adore that one. Thank you so much for reading that. Can you tell us a little bit of what's been happening with you for the last two years? Because I haven't seen you in 2 years. And
Yeah.
so a quick synopsis of what you've been up to.
Yeah, actually, last 2 years, as I said, I'm not into IT world right now, and I was doing some little bit freelancing. So that was also not my perfect choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm learning more on this quantum mechanics right now. So I'm behind this book for the last maybe 1+ years.
Okay.
Yeah, and last time also I told you like there's some poetry books in queue to be published. That is
Mhm.
still the I couldn't touch upon the same.
I
Still
know
in
how that
queue.
goes. I have a few projects too that are just they're in my back pocket. They're not going anywhere. They're still there.
Yeah, actually, I need to work upon the same. But after publishing this physics book only, I decided like first I need to get this published. And
Yeah.
yeah, and before that, maybe you know that in the last May I published a poetry book.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, that was an ebook.
And I was going to say,
So
I'm going to share that in the link too in the bottom of the interview so people can know where to reach you or get that book if they'd like to read it.
thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah. And actually, some of my readers were suggesting like, why don't you get it printed? Why don't you give it as a print book, physical copy?
Right.
Uh, so that also is there in my mind. I need to get it some physically in traditional publishing or some self-publishing itself. I need to get it printed.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I look forward to it coming out. Keep it
Mhm.
on in the back of your mind or keep furthering it so we can all
Yeah,
see what's going on in your head. That's always the cool thing. All right. Well,
yeah,
I'm going to wrap this up tonight. Yeah, tonight for you and this morning for me. But it was good seeing you again. I'm really glad that you participated again this year with us. And I was going to say, don't forget that the submission cycle is going to reopen again in July. I'm going to do it a little differently this year because we had a lot of response. And I'm still at a point in my life that I need to only do this once a week because I have so much other stuff that's going on in my personal life. So the way I changed it up is the first 52 acceptances will be published as features, and then we'll do the third volume. And every other year, like we'll continue doing that unless it just gets to a point where it just blows up a lot. But we had 6 new people this year on top of a lot of the recurring from last year or the year before, which was great. But if it continues the route that it's going, I might have to get some help this time with the next run of this. But so get your submissions in early if you can. And I just wanted to let you know because it will be cut off. I'll close the submission cycle once I hit 52 acceptances because I'll only be able to do this once a week. Okay.
okay.
All right. Well, it was great seeing you again. Nice talking to you again. Sorry about the technical difficulties on my end, but hopefully next year or the 2 years from now, it won't be the same. But
Yeah. Yeah, actually, thank you so much. This is really a great pleasure for me to be with you, to chat with you after 2 years.
yeah.
Uh, Even though we were having some mail contacts and all, but it feels so good to meet you directly like this.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well, I
and
was gonna
actually,
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
it's like you are such a. I always used to tell my family like you always like disciplined and organized. You keep everything in an organized manner. So I really appreciate that. It's and it's like meeting people of the same vibes.
Good. Well,
So I feel
I'm glad that it helps you though.
yeah.
I'm glad that it helps.
Actually, I feel it's so good. Like you keep everything in an organized way. Such you keep everything in the disciplined manner. So it feels good to know more about you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And that's what I think for people like me who take on a lot of things, you have to be. As a matter of fact, like I was out of town over the weekend and I did another poet interview Friday night and I actually had to do it at the hotel. But because I had everything with me, my laptop, my notes, it was a little disorienting because it was in a different place. But I had everything with me, so it worked out beautifully. And Bartholomew was fine with it, so it worked out really good. But it was, I don't know, I appreciate you saying that because yes, it does help. It helps me cope with all the things that I'm managing. So it makes life a little bit easier being type of person like that, but you have to be, otherwise you can't get anything done. So, and I'm sure you can appreciate that too. You have to
Yes.
organize. Otherwise, seriously, everything is just so, I hate to use the word disorganized, but that's exactly what it is. You just feel like you're kind of at a loss, not being able to move forward. And I don't like feeling like that. So that's probably one of the reasons I'm organized, a little anal about things.
I yeah, I get that totally because I know how it feels when you go disorganized. I know.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, thank
so
you for
thank you.
taking the time. No, thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time to spend with me today. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties, but hopefully we won't have to deal with that next time. But I look forward to whatever you're going to submit again, and I look forward to publishing your beautiful work. And the next book, whatever that may be, I don't know yet. Well, volume 3, what it ends up being, we'll see. But it's exciting because you never know. Once you pull everything together, I felt like this year really, for all the people that submitted, it was more about the revelations and the reflections of life. You guys really just honed in on that. So I'm really excited about bringing that volume forward. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will talk to you hopefully sooner, maybe. Who knows? I look forward to it.
Bye bye.
Bye.